Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of explaining every 21 Pilots song they've ever put out. Check out the video on the self-title if you haven't already, or you can check out the lore video, or you can do whatever you want. I can't really force you to do anything. But today we're continuing with the album Regional at Best by 21 Pilots, which was released in 2011, about a year before the band would sign with the record label Fueled by Ramen. Unlike the self-titled album released in 2009, two members of the band had decided to leave at this point in the band's history, Chris Solly and Nick Thomas. The void that this left in the band was filled by none other than Joshua Dunn, and from this point on, 21 Pilots would be a two-piece band. Now, you won't find this album on Spotify or anything like that, due to the nature of the album having tracks that would eventually be re-recorded on later records like Vessel, and the label required the band to shelve this project in order to be signed. It's a complicated situation, and it stinks that you can't find the songs on the album except for something like YouTube.
So right around the time that we got signed was the time that we kind of had already released Regional Best. But then the time between when we released Regional Best and when we were ready to kind of officially release our first professionally done major label record, we had written more songs since then. That's why songs like, Semi-Automatic and Fake You Out and Truce and House of Gold aren't on the Regional Best, the old record that technically doesn't exist. So what happens was our label said, hey, do you want to release Regional Best as is? And maybe we can remaster or something. No, we have new songs. We want to record a new record, but we'll pull some songs from Regional Best and have that be a part of Vessel. So technically, Regional Best doesn't exist because it falls in that kind of purgatory of right as we were releasing music independently and right when we got signed and we were able to release and record music.
This album has many songs that are on the preceding album, which we will not be including in this section for Regional at Best. Those songs are Guns for Hands, Holding On To You, Ode to Sleep, Car Radio, House of Gold, and Trees. I will say there are some RAB truthers who believe that the Vessel songs present on this record are in fact better than their re-recorded versions off of Vessel, but you can go back and check for yourself and make your own opinion. There are a few different versions of Regional at Best that were released, but for the sake of this video, we will be doing the newsletter edition, which has the most amount of songs. This will give us 10 tracks to listen and work through for the RAB era. I haven't said this yet in this series, but later on I will include any music videos that were released and explain how they can tie into the song. But for now, on these earlier projects, there's not a ton of visual media that the band has coupled with these songs, so just keep that in mind. Without further ado, let's get into Regional at Best. 21 Pilots' second album released July 8, 2011. The album cover features Tyler's brother Zach at a Little League baseball game when they were younger. We don't know the significance of this picture, but we can infer that this album will be surrounding themes of childhood innocence and the pains of growing up. This is also the first time we see the band's logo in printed media, and you can see it right here. If you zoom in. Some people think that's on purpose, but some people are also just schizophrenic, so I'll let you decide for yourself. In this album, we very much see a deeper dive into electronica aspects, and despite the track's runtimes all being over 4 minutes, there's a more focused and driven personality, so to speak, in the messaging. I encourage you to listen along on your phone or something while we dissect each song. So let's jump into the first track, Slowtown. Slowtown is technically the fourth song off the record and has a runtime of 4 minutes and 37 seconds. In my opinion, this song is the primordial version of Stressed Out. It's about reminiscing on childhood times when things weren't as emotionally heavy or burdens weren't as heavy and were much lighter. The song also transitions from a more slower, more methodical portion to a faster, electronically buzzing section to kind of give off that theme of the quickness of growing up and the frantic state we can sometimes find ourselves in whenever we realize that childhood is far in the background. But let's start with the chorus. Hey, wouldn't it be great if we could just lay down and wake up in Slowtown? Today, I want to go away because things are too fast now. I want to be in Slowtown. This portion sees Tyler wanting to go to sleep or escape from the present situation and wake up in this place called Slowtown. Slowtown is essentially childhood, time in the past when things didn't matter as much and time seemed to move very slowly. Like when you're a kid, everything seems to take forever. waiting to get out of school, finish chores, whatever, but as an adult, everything flies by. This is actually a scientifically proven concept. Children perceive time in a slower way because they are constantly experiencing new things. As an adult, you experience less and less newer things, which makes most things seem insignificant and seemingly pass by more quickly. They call this the neurometronome, and it's moving at a faster pace. The chorus. I put my socks on my feet just so that my soul won't fall through my toes, and I walk through my door just so I don't fall through the floor. I think these examples he gives as how he acts outside of Slowtown are pointing towards the actions he does every day to stay sane and grounded. He has to get up and keep moving so that he doesn't feel left behind in life or lose to his mental struggles. As an adult, you cannot be in Slowtown. You have roles and responsibilities you have to fulfill. I remember when my brother and other kids from other houses would get together, I'd ride my bike and my brother would ride his. Put cards in our spokes and make our engines sound like traffic. When using Pokemon cards, please do not use the holographics. So bold and fearless in the risks we take, laugh in the face of gravity as its laws we break. On trampolines so high we reach for the sky, but I don't look up anymore and I don't know why. Part of these verses are pretty self-explanatory. For the cards and the spokes, I'm not even going to write this in the script, just let me try to explain it. You kind of put the card in this part of the tire and the spoke, and then when the tire hits it as it spins, it kind of makes a noise. It kind of makes a really nice noise, you know? Anyways, something the youngins used to do back in the day, you know what I mean? Now, this is also something I'm a bit of an expert in as a Pokemon card connoisseur myself. It's pretty simple. You just don't want to use holo cards because they're special and you don't want to damage them, and they're usually worth more. You want to keep them pristine so that you can sell them to people for tens of thousands of dollars. Anyways, Tyler continues with how as a kid, maybe on a trampoline or something, you felt as though no rules applied to you. That you could break the very laws of nature if you wanted to, and if you tried hard enough. There was a higher sense of curiosity, but he finds himself not even looking into the sky anymore. We're going too fast, fast save us. Simply put, the world is going too fast for Tyler, and he wants to slow things back down and try to recapture some of that childhood innocence and courage. A time when problems that seemed big were actually very small in comparison to the things an adult would have to deal with. Forest. Forest is technically the 6th track on the album and sits at a 4 minute and 11 seconds. This is a fan favorite song, and it was originally released by the band as sort of a street poetry video. The song is about community and celebrating together with music. It's about harmony and peace with other people and finding common ground at a place like a concert, where you can come together with strangers that you don't even know and celebrate or enjoy something that's important to everyone in the room. Verse 1. I don't know why I feed on emotion. There's a stomach inside my brain. I don't want to be heard. I want to be listened to. Does it bother anyone else that someone else has your name? Tyler feels as though he has a vital dependency on emotions, on feelings they bring or the longing for something that they invoke. He doesn't want to simply be seen, he wants to be understood. You know what it's like when someone is hearing you but not really listening to you? They're not really invested in what you have to say and are maybe more preoccupied with what maybe they want to say instead. Although your name may not be unique, you are. Your name only describes you to the point of identifying you, especially in Western cultures where names aren't as significant to your identity as they would in other parts of the world. Two people could have the same name but be vastly different people, yet they are called the same thing by everyone in their lives. I want to hear your thoughts on this line specifically, so let me know in the comments. But for now, here's the pre-chorus. I scream, you scream, we all scream because we're terrified of what's around the corner. We stay in place because we don't want to lose our lives, so let's think of something better. The first part of this pre-chorus is a play on the I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's changed so that instead of ice cream that's got all these people riled up, it's anxiety about the future. People will often become frozen in place in the face of persistent passage of time and be paralyzed either by the fear of messing up or something like that, and in turn you won't actually do anything at all, like analysis paralysis. But Tyler wants to think about something better. Down in the forest, we'll sing a chorus, one that everybody knows. Hands held higher, we'll be on fire, singing songs that nobody wrote. The forest is seen as a refuge where people can gather together and enjoy music. It's sort of this euphoric place where people all have a mutual understanding about something they don't fully understand, to gather together and celebrate music for the sake of music, for the result of it bringing everyone together and under one commonality. My brain is given up, white flags are hoisted. I took some food for thought, it might be poisoned. The stomach in my brain throws up into the page. Does it bother anyone else that someone else has your name? In its desire to be fulfilled by emotions, the brain has given up and instead taken food for thought, relying on logic and reason instead. But even this is tarnished. It's not beneficial to his well-being. This causes his brain to metaphorically throw up, to expel all the thoughts he has about his emotions and its fight and inability to coexist with logic. This constant unease in his head throws up into the page and prompts him to write music. The bridge is quite lengthy, so bear with me. Quickly moving towards the storm, moving forward, torn into pieces over reasons of what these storms are for. I don't understand why everything I adore takes a different form when I squint my eyes. Have you ever done that when you squint your eyes and your eyelashes make it look a little not right? And then when just enough light comes from just the right side, you find out you're not who you're supposed to be. This is not what you're supposed to see. Please remember me. I'm supposed to be king of a kingdom or swinging on a swing. Something happened to my imagination. The situation's becoming dire. My treehouse is on fire. And for some reason, I smell gas on my hands. This is not what I had planned. As Tyler's moving forward in life toward adulthood, he finds himself moving towards depression and anxiety embodied by this storm. He finds himself questioning his faith as he questions the point of these storms in the first place, that their existence provides him with feelings of doubt and unbelief. The lines about squinting your eyes are simply about whenever you look too closely at something you are enamored by, that often we find ourselves seeing it differently. Maybe how looking inward too closely sometimes provides a sense of hopelessness and an aha moment that you actually more lost than you thought. The next section is a continuation of the lost childlike wonder and excitement. Our imagination as kids had a future of infinite possibilities without limitation. But as time has passed, that future has become narrower and the possibilities have shrunk. This treehouse represents childhood escape, and I believe whatever treehouse he had as a kid was very important to him, as this is not the only time he brings up it, lyrically. But there is also a treehouse featured on the self-titled album art. Treehouses are obviously in trees. You know what else has trees? Forests. This forest he's singing about is like a recaptured sense of childlike wonder and infatuation. It's almost as if the new alternative for dealing with the loss of innocence is to go to a concert or something. It's one of the only places where people are all gathered for a single cause, to enjoy the music that resonates with them. I've always seen this song as a depiction of heaven or something, but let me know your thoughts. Glowing Eyes is the electronically centered 7th track on the album and sits at 4 minutes and 26 seconds. This song is one of the first in the band's catalog that has a very cheery and upbeat sound, but lyrically is about some pretty bad things. This song also features background vocals from someone not in the band, a man named James Truslow, a fellow artist that Tyler befriended. People thought the backing vocals were Josh for the longest time, but obviously, and alas, they are not. We all are stranger creatures than when we all started out as kids. Culture forbids. We have romantic fantasies about what dying truly is, fall off the grid. Again, we go back to the process of growing up changing you as a person, and an end to childlike imagination and visions of grandeur. Partially because the culture requires it in order for you to become a quote-unquote normal and functioning human being. This reality causes Tyler to ponder ideas that whatever is beyond death must be better than whatever he is experiencing in life as an adult right now. He has romantic fantasies about death. There is an aura of mystery around it that intrigues him and pulls him in. The pre-chorus. We live for the night's decor. It reveals what we dream of. Here's the night again, aka mental strife. Once the night has arrived, the expectation and the responsibilities of the day are no longer required, and the mind is allowed to think beyond survival. It's allowed to overthink. Specifically, it leads him to overthink and get in tune with his feelings. I know there's someone at the door. They called for help, of this I'm sure. But do I want to say goodbye to all the glowing eyes? I'm holding on to what I know, and what I know I must let go. But I would rather play a song for the eyes to sing along. The glowing eyes represent the negative thoughts and feelings in his life that don't seem to go away. Glowing eyes will certainly come up again later in the lore. Someone or something is trying to get him out of this room with the glowing eyes, but Tyler isn't sure if he actually wants to leave. Because these thoughts and inner demons are something that he has grown comfortable with in a way due to their constant presence. It's almost like an abusive relationship where the abused person doesn't want to leave because they feel that the other person is all that they know. He would rather make songs about his problems than actually deal with or leave the room that they are in to distract them. And on the surface, this song sounds like a happier song, but it's a distraction in and of itself from the depression in the lyrics. We all know somebody who knows somebody who's doing great. I know some people who are flying straight. But I'll kindly enter into rooms of depression, while ceiling fans and idle hands will take my life again. The first part of the second verse is talking about more so the idea of what people think is successful or living life with minimal concern or problems. This person doesn't really exist, but the idea of them is something people compare themselves to constantly, and in turn end up beating up themselves even more when they play the comparison game. Tyler easily finds himself slipping into depression instead. I get this picture of the self-titled album art again when he talks about idle ceiling fans, stuck in a bedroom at night with your thoughts. The final part of the song, the bridge. This room is far too dark for us to stay around. Redemption's not that far, and the darkness is going down. This section is coupled with the end of the song. Their eyes will sing along, make them stop. It makes me think that he has grown tired of appeasing these glowing eyes through songs and is looking for a way out. The room has grown darker and darker, and the glowing eyes have grown brighter and brighter. This line speaks towards the morning, or his faith in God as a redemption from the glowing eyes. He wants them to be stopped by this figure. He's allowed himself to stay in the room with the eyes for too long, and he's ready for them to stop. But it doesn't seem like they will stop anytime soon. And there's no mistaking it that the bishops are the embodiment of this inner demon in the later lore, and they have yellow glowing eyes. Kitchen Sink. Kitchen Sink is the 8th song on the album and plays for 5 minutes and 34 seconds, making it the longest track on this album. This song is by far the favorite of people, and a lot of people in the community would say this is their favorite song, and it's also become a bit of a meme as of late. This song features Tyler's brother Zach, who is also the one on the cover of the album, and this song would be best summarized by Tyler himself in the following interview.
There was a song that I wrote. It's on a demo type thing that it's out there somewhere online. However, the kids are getting music these days. And it's called Kitchen Sink, and there's a line that says, "A kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me." Now this is deep. Ready? This is to sandwich my Dumb and Dumber answer that I had earlier. But I feel like our generation of people, we struggle with some things. We struggle with a lot of suicide and depression. And not that I claim to be any sort of professional opinion on those topics, but what I found out is those two issues are really centered around the idea of purpose. What's the purpose? Like, what's the point? We have a lot of questions, big questions, right? And we don't have the answers to those questions, and that can really discourage us as young kids that are wanting answers to questions. So I found out, it's like, well, how can I create purpose for myself? Because I feel like if I had purpose, I'd be able to conquer these two things. And I found through art that you can create the beginning of purpose for you. Not all of purpose, because that's just such a huge thing. But the beginning of purpose can be found by creating something that only you understand. For example, in your darkest hour, when you're trying to figure out whether or not it's worth it to stay alive or just to give up, if you have something that you've created and you know that you're the only person on this earth that can explain that thing, then that can be the thing that you hold on to, and that can be the thing that can help you get through that moment of your darkest hour, I like to call it. So for me, something happened to me at a kitchen sink that was it was awesome, it was good, it was emotional, it was great. But the point is, I used that moment to help me get through my tough times, because the point is, I'm not going to tell you what happened at that kitchen sink. A kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me.
Nobody thinks what I think. Nobody dreams when they blink. Think things on the brink of blasphemy, I'm my own shrink. Think things are after me, I'm my catastrophe. At my kitchen sink. You don't know what that means because a kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me. Okay, friend, are you searching for purpose? Then write something, it might be worthless. Then paint something, it might be wordless. Pointless curses, nonsense verses. You'll see purpose start to surface. No one else is dealing with your demons, meaning defeating them could be the beginning of your meaning, friend. Tyler feels alone in his negative thoughts. He thinks nobody else thinks like he does. His headspace has isolated him to a point where he feels as though he is the only person in the world struggling with the same things he is. And in a way, he's right. He begins to develop ideas and beliefs that would go against his religious beliefs and be considered heretical. He sees himself as his own therapist, but his problems are not so much external as they are internal. He is his own worst enemy. As described in the interview, something happened to Tyler at a kitchen sink that gave him the power to stay alive, that changed his perspective. I'm not going to theorize about what happened, as it's his own crucial life experience and his to tell whether he decides to or not. He pushes that this moment for him is not the same thing that will happen to someone else going through similar struggles. It's something this person must seek out and define for themselves. Tyler encourages the listeners to take part in creativity, to make something only you can understand and explain how that is the beginning of purpose. What I believe is the purpose in this search is found through defining, defeating, and overcoming those demons. People may want to put an immediate end to their suffering and their personal mental anguish, and rightly so, but perhaps part of the void of purpose is to be found in the constant fight and battle with those demons. In the wise words of Jake the dog from Adventure Time,
to live life, you need problems.
That's so stupid!
If you get everything you want the minute you want it, what's the point of living?
nobody thinks what you think, no one. Empathy might be on the brink of extinction. They will play a game and say they know what you're going through, and I try to come up with an artistic way to say that they don't know you, and neither do I. So here's a prime example of a stand-up guy who hates what he believes and loves it at the same time. Here's my brother, and his head's screwed up, but that's alright. No one can fully resonate with what you're going through, maybe broadly, but your problems are in fact unique to you. So it's up to you to create something out of your own unique circumstances to put into the world. Tyler admits this is not a perfect solution, but it's a step in the right direction. Tyler then introduces his brother, who gets his own verse. Well, I'm going to try to get through. It's so much of a tongue twister. All right, let me take a drink of water. Time gains momentum the moment when I'm living in them. I'm winning a momentary, sinning a moment passing after. A re-beginning moment's mending memories, pretending enemies are friends of me, sending me straight to bending me. My bad behavior, but I bet I could have been a better man. Copy and paste caught me, and copy. Better rhymes bother me. The better the rhythm, the better I am. But I bet I'll battle with them battle. Better I am. Gambling man. Better bet I am a gambling man. I am. Sheesh. Zach talks about life moving too fast and the quick blend of moments between sainthood and villainy. He finds himself doing the right thing and sinning in the next moment. He makes friends with his demons only for them to lull him into a false sense of security and catch him in bad choices and behaviors. He also finds music as an outlet for dealing with his problems, similar to his brother, and his confidence to win is greater than their power to keep him down. However, his verse ends with a doubt that he can win, starting the cycle all over again. The chorus throughout the song changes also at the very end of the track. Leave me alone, don't leave me alone. He has previously shut himself off from God and the people around him as he deals with his problems, but as we reach the ending of the song, we see him plead that these people don't actually leave him alone, as if he's finally realized the value in fighting his battles with someone by his side. I also think that having Zach specifically on this song as well as the album cover is important in some way, but I don't know if that's for us to know about or that we will ever really know about. Anathema. This is my favorite song in the album, track 9, 4 minutes flat, Anathema. Anathema means a formal curse or ban, or someone who is particularly and formally loathed. If you haven't been able to tell through Tyler's lyrics in the past, he feels particularly cursed himself. But let's go into verse 1. You will never know what's behind my skull, so won't you say goodnight so I can say goodbye. You will never know what's under my hair, so won't you say goodnight so I can say goodbye? And you will never know what's under my skin, so won't you say goodnight so I can say goodbye? And you will never know what is in my veins, so won't you say goodnight so I can say goodbye? This is a very holistically viewed approach of himself. Simply put, Tyler is saying no one will fully understand him, won't understand everything that's going on with him and his battle with his inner demons. He wants this person to leave so that he can feel peace in suffering alone. Now, this could be God he's talking to or a friend. Saying goodbye is probably a reference to suicide, but it doesn't seem like this person will leave Tyler alone. Although he feels like a lost cause, it's inferred that this person is refusing to leave him in the nighttime by himself. Won't you go to someone else's dreams? Won't you go to someone else's head? Haven't you taken enough from me? Won't you torture someone else's sleep? Now I can see how this would be Tyler speaking to his inner demons, pleading for them to leave him so he can sleep and get some rest, even resorting to asking them to bother someone else so that he can have some peace. But personally, I see this as Tyler talking to God himself, feeling as though God has taken things from him he can't get back. He feels as though God is distant, but also not leaving him be. He wants God to move on and go work on someone else because having him around makes his pain uniquely worse. And this idea is confirmed for me in the following verse 3. I start to part two halves of my heart, and I don't know where I should go, and the tears and fears begin to multiply, taking time in a simple place in my bed where my head rests on a pillowcase. And it's said that's where a war is led, but I forget that I let another day go by. I want to be afraid, but it seems like these days I'm caught underwater and I'm falling farther. My heart's getting harder, I'm calling my father. Am I screaming to an empty sky? Empty sky, no way, that's me, because one half of my heart is free. Empty sky, no way, that's me, comma, because the other half of my heart's asleep. There is a split in Tyler's heart from the half that believes in God to the other which doubts in him and his presence. This fracture causes intense emotional strife and continues with each passing day. He wants to fear God, but his dire situation is pushing him away from faith and belief. He feels as though his prayers are like screaming into an empty sky. He demands proof. But then we see each half of his heart. One is free and one is asleep. One half of his heart believes in a greater good and God's presence, and the other is so deeply affected by hardship and struggle that it has fallen asleep to any awareness of his presence and goodness. Fun fact, parts of this third verse are actually taken from Tyler's solo project I think that he made in high school called No Fun Intended. This is definitely one of my favorite songs, though, from the album, and I'd like to know what you think about this song down below. Lovely. Oh, do I have a deep cut for you guys right here. Hopefully I can show it. We'll see if copyright doesn't strike me down or not. But if I can show it, I'll say it right now. Lovely is the 10th song on Regional at Best and runs for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. This song was released on the album as you would expect, but it was also re-released a second time during a tour in Asia in 2013. The band released an altered version of the song in Japan in 2013 that even charted on the Japanese Billboard Top 100. The band has a promotional pseudo music video that they released that's been lost to time and disappeared, but I found it, and hopefully I can show it. Also, the song is very lyrically similar to Friend Please from the self-titled album. You say things with your mouth, cobwebs and flies come out. I hear a second voice behind your tongue somehow. Luckily I can read your mind, flies and cobwebs unwind. They will not take you down, they will not cast you out. This person is saying one thing, but Tyler can tell they are essentially dead inside. That the demons inside of this person, the internal demons, have influenced them so much. They've been consumed by this depression that the words that they are saying are heavily influenced because of their hold on this person. Dear friend, here we are again, pretending to understand how you think your world is ending, sending signals and red flags and waves. It's hard to tell the difference between blood and water these days. I'll pray that one day you'll see the only difference between life and dying is one that's trying, and that's all we're called to do. So try to love me and I'll try to save you. This cycle is nothing new for Tyler and this person, as it's something that frequently occurs. This person is expecting the worst thing to happen to him and is anxious, throwing up warning signs in the process. They feel as though they are dead inside, and Tyler is encouraging them that fighting this fight and this pain is part of being alive. It is in fact what makes us alive. He is encouraging this person not to be shut down, but instead be open to love and to be helped. Won't you stay alive? I'll take you on a ride. I will make you believe that you are lovely. This person should stay alive because Tyler would take care of them and put them on an adventure of sorts. He will be dedicated to going through life with them. He wants to make this person begin to see themselves as he sees them, as lovely. Verse 2, your redemption won't grow stale. We are now just setting sail. On the seas of what we fear, treason now is growing near to me. Tyler says that this newfound pursuit in staying alive and having faith won't grow stale, and that as they begin to travel through their problems, they become more and more uncertain, however. It's important to note that it seems as though the narrator shifts from Tyler's perspective to the person being helped. As treason draws near, as the waters of fear begin to grow higher and higher, it would make sense in the bridge that this narrator has changed to the other person. And then furthermore, in the upcoming bridge, there is an act of surrender. Everything that Tyler was encouraged this person specifically to do. I'm coming clean, God hit me straight on. This person has decided to surrender their control to their problems and allow God to work. They ask that they may be hit straight on, a full submission, similar to what we see in Addict with a Pen. They are coming clean. They are letting themselves go and be honest with themselves and with others about their problems and allowing themselves to be helped. Oftentimes, the hardest people struggling with these problems is to allow them to be helped, as their fear and problems have isolated them and to the point that they think they have to go about it alone. Ruby. Ruby is the 11th song on the record with a runtime of 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'll let Tyler himself explain what this song is about.
The song is called Ruby. It's about a girl who goes to my church, Josh and I's church. She's just a little girl. She's got Down syndrome, so she inspired me. This song is called Ruby, named after her. Her parents are in the house tonight, so give them a round of applause. Let's make this awesome for them, huh? Alright, so it's a newer song, which you know that we don't like to have you guys just sit there and watch us play. So what we're going to ask you guys to be a part of this song. You guys cool with being a part of this song with us?
Ruby, I hope I see you. I've waited all this week. For you to walk my way, your soul will capture me. Your mama painted your room a shade of pink, she said, but with your great arrival, that shade has turned to red. Tyler has been waiting until Sunday, the day he goes to church, to see this girl, Ruby. Something about her and how she goes through life is so pure and powerful that it enraptures him. Not super sure what this line means, but probably has something to do with her name being about a red-colored gem. Ruby, take my hand, please lead me to the promised land. Tell me where I'm from. Your eyes say sha-da-dee-da-dum. Ruby, your royalty, in your homeland they all call you queen. Tell me where are you from. Your eyes say sha-da-dee-da-dum. Tyler sees Ruby as a window into the divine, as someone not consumed by the problems of this world like he can sometimes be, but someone so radically enjoying life that Tyler sees her as being from a different world or a different place, being from heaven, as we'll later see in the song. You're an angel fallen down, won't you tell us of the clouds? You have fallen from the sky, how high, how high? Tyler continues, you're true and pure, you hold the cure. We're all diseased, you hold the key. People may see Ruby's Down syndrome as a hindrance to her and her family, but it allows her to remain true and pure, to hold a secret everyone else around her doesn't seem to have. A secret of joy and happiness. Like someone who has seen the hope and joy of heaven surrounded by people who can't even fathom it or choose not to believe in it. It's as if a citizen from heaven was sent down to earth to be a window into what life is like above the clouds. Tyler believes that her faith is far stronger than his, and that is a reflection of how he wants to be. He outros the song with the line, "Tell our dad I'm sorry." Tyler wants Ruby to advocate to God on his behalf, as she is someone who is closer to God than he could ever be, at least according to him. Tyler is guilty for the sins he has committed and his lack of faith, and sees Ruby as a messenger or someone he can entrust with going to God on his behalf. It's really a beautiful song, so give it a shot. Be Concerned. Be Concerned is the 13th song on the album and goes on for 4 minutes and 8 seconds. This song features a fellow artist named Joseph from an Ohio-based Christian group. But this song is definitely one of the lesser knowns off this album, and it's a bit different, I'll say, than most of the songs on this album. Where'd You Go? They All Think I Know You It's so hard to motivate me to devote a single inch of me to something I can't see. I don't mean to pry, but why would you even make the eyes? I don't believe my ears, and I'm scared of my own head, and I will deny you for years, and then I'll make you raise me from the dead. And if I said that I would live for you for nothing in return, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Gullible, but lying's all I've learned. So be concerned. Tyler is talking to God in the first verse and is stating how it's hard for him to believe and have faith in something that he can't see. He doesn't see a point in why God would even make eyes for humans if they're not something that he can even be seen with in the first place. It's hard for him to devote his life to something that is not tangible, and he doesn't know what he believes. But he ultimately doesn't trust even his own head to make a different path that he could take. He spends a lot of time doubting and not believing, but ultimately finds himself crying out to God to save him from death and his troubles. Into Joseph's verse. No music and I can talk about anything, whether or not it's worthwhile, it's based on who's listening. Most of us listen if it's something we can relate to. All of us relate if it's something we've just been through. Taken for granted, trust is damaged, and now we panic. Living empty-handed, living lives like we can manage. I can't feel you, but I still know where home is, feeling like Jonah did. Almost dropped the bat like every base was loaded. Joseph is saying that music is something that may or may not be important to people depending on how much they can relate to it. But people continue to live their lives as though they can fully control their problems and their situations. They feel as though God has abandoned them, yet they still have an inkling of an idea of where to go next. Joseph then references a biblical prophet, Jonah. Jonah was an Old Testament prophet who was sent by God to the people of Nineveh to tell them to repent and turn to God. But Jonah didn't want to do this because of the racial and national hatred between him, a Jew, and the people of Nineveh. He was a reluctant prophet who reached out to these people not from a place of his heart and love for those people, but out of obedience to God. He feels as though he has been given a similar pivotal role as Jonah to reach out to those who are lost. It's as if every base is loaded and he's next up to bat. Meaning, like in baseball, a point will happen no matter what. It just has to be a good hit. Into the final verse. I am disappearing inside my bird's eye theories. I try to say goodbye, defy, and deny what it is I'm fearing. Clearly I am dying, dearly I am writing, merely testifying that a test to fly requires I pass the test with colors flying. I don't believe you most of the time. I'm lying because I say I'm fine. You are the pearl, I am the swine. So break my life and take this rhyme. I'm so sorry, but I do believe that all my bridges have been burned, and I've earned a policy of no return. Tyler has been caught up in all of his theories about the world and what to make of God that he realizes that the most of it has been a distraction to protect him from what he's really feeling inside. He feels like he has to be perfect in his faith or this test to fly. He goes further to compare himself to swine, something filthy and wallowing in his own sadness like a pig in mud. He asks God to break his life and push him towards submission, because he realizes and believes that his past mistakes and attitudes have burnt all possible bridges back to him, and he has officially made himself unsavable by God. This is what he's ultimately concerned about. Clear. Clear is the 14th track on the album is one of two tracks on this album that are under 4 minutes. This one sits at 3 minutes and 39 seconds. As the name of the track suggests, this track is evidently clear on what it is actually about. It doesn't have that 21 Pilots ambiguity and cloudiness, opaqueness to it. Think of it as Tyler's thesis statement for his music and what he is trying to say. So let's go into the first verse of the track. I wish I had two faces to prove which theory works, yelling on the street corner or cleverly masking your words. I take my face off at the door because I don't know who they'll take me for. I wonder if I tell them what I did last night, whether or not I got caught, they just might wage war on you, therefore it's true that I shot my general on my side of enemy lines. Tyler reveals his internal conflict on whether or not he should be explicit in what he's trying to talk about, or if he should hide it behind thoughtful lyrics and catchy melodies. He feels as though he has to hide a portion of who he is and what he believes because people will see him as a hypocritical Christian if they were ever to find out about the things in his life and the sins that he has committed or struggles with. In this line, he is taking a certain level of responsibility for breaking trust with God, making it akin to shooting his general in friendly fire. Into the chorus. I'm the son of all I've done, I'm the son of all I've done, imposter, been fostered, then my new father drained my dirty blood. Tyler is explaining here that he is the sum of all his actions. He is defined by his mistakes and views himself as an imposter. that these actions and sinful behaviors have become a distorted version of his father in a way in heaven, and instead of being a heavenly son, he is a son to his sinful nature. But he describes that he has been fostered or brought in or adopted by this father. God has adopted him instead and drained away his dirty blood, basically saying that God took away all remnants of his old life and made him into a new creation as a son of his own. Verse 2. I'm not trying to be lying to you, but it takes a clever guy to do what I do. It takes some chivalry and well-placed energy to subliminally get yourself inside you. Introspection is the name of this section. Spread this infection, reflect it on the next one, the next one, the next one, and when we're done, we'll have all made something new under the sun. I'm not done yet, no. Get me off the stage and take my microphone. Then you'll wake up to me, and when you get close, I'll look you in the face and say, where's your home? Where are you going and why are you here? Have you asked these questions? Have you been sincere? Want to know what I believe? It's right here. Dig a little deeper and it's crystal clear. In this first section, Tyler is saying that his intention is to not lie to his audience and not try to deceive them into believing what he does, but instead he wants to invoke a sense of curiosity with his music as a vessel in order to prompt them in towards thinking more. It requires introspection, looking into all the corners of ourselves, the good, bad, and the ugly. Understanding this process and sharing with others is compared to an infection, a good infection at that will lead to something new under the sun. He's going to put these ideas into his music even if it gets him canceled or thrown off stages, because all he wants is to prompt questions for the listener to think about life, death, and what comes after, if there is something greater to life than oneself. This is obviously talking about his Christian faith in Jesus. Although he may not be able to talk to each person directly and intently, he wants them to look into his music as he feels as though he has been clear on what he believes. I will tell you what I can, but your mind will take a stand. I sing of a greater love, let me know when you've had enough. A lot of people think that these lyrics mean something else, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Something important to Tyler. But anyways, to the lyrics themselves specifically, Tyler will say what he can about his faith, but this is often stigmatized in today's society. He understands that there are rational objections to it, but he continues to sing of a greater love in spite of that. But for as long as he has the microphone, although it may not always be as clear as the song or easy due to the hardships of life, he will sing of Jesus and his love for all the people to hear. Two is going to be considered a bonus track, as it was only available on a few selected versions of the release of Regional at Best. 2 is 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and only has 7 words that are repeated over and over again. It is very interesting at the least, and the words that are repeated over and over again are as follows. I'm to be gone, you see rain. It's hard to fully understand the meaning of the song because there's just not enough here to determine what exactly it means, but it's generally understood that this song is a reflection of Tyler about the current state of the band at the time of this release, around 2011. There are interviews with past members Chris Solly and Nick Thomas in which they discuss how Tyler seemed to feel a bit rejected and abandoned and slightly bitter to them when they left the band earlier in that year. I'm Too is probably talking about the band, just him and Josh. The band is now only 2 people. Chris and Nick ended up leaving the band because of financial reasons. Mostly, that's a simplification, but for the sake of this, that's pretty much why. So this rain is coming. That could be the figurative way of those financial problems. And Tyler is telling them to go away or giving them permission, or his way of coping with them leaving the band. Maybe this is his version of coping with becoming a two-piece band. Maybe it's something completely else. But it's a very short track. As I said, it's pretty simple, but go check it out. Well, we've reached the end of Regional at Best. As you surmised, I'm sure, this album is central to themes about growing up, doubts in God, and helping others. All central themes to the ethos of this band from here on out. And from here on out, this band will have signed with a record label company fueled by ramen and would be poised to be catapulted into the spotlight of the world. Despite what the title suggests, that perhaps this band would be regional at best in popularity, it would in fact not be the case and would be known worldwide. But for now, as it pertains to this album, this project has some of the most pure 21 Pilots sounds in my opinion. It's the genesis for a sound that would come to shape much of what we would see over the next 10 years. not only musically, but lyrically and thematically as well. There's also a great series by Mark, aka Real Bear Media, that he did during this time, a micro internet series, that you can still find on the band's YouTube all the way at the beginning of their channel. And I'd highly suggest that you watch it all the way through if you haven't already. You really kind of see the early days of how they start to adjust to being a two-piece band. In many ways, Vessel is like a sequel to Regional at Best, but you'll have to see all of that for yourself. Well, hey everyone. Sorry, no fancy outro with everything, but it is currently 1:19 a.m. in the morning, and I am very tired. But I just want to thank everybody for watching and for sticking around for this series. I hope you've enjoyed so far. I'm really looking forward to doing Vessel. I know I put this one out really quickly, within like a week of the other one, but I just felt like I wanted to go ahead and get it out there. It's probably going to take me a little bit longer to do the Vessel one just because of the length and all the lyrics that are contained in that one. We begin to have music videos in that era too, so I would like to include them if I don't get copyrighted. But I just want to thank everybody that's gone with me through all this so far. I'm really enjoying the little community that we've created here, and I'm looking forward to make other videos as well. Not just 21 Pilots, but other things as well. There's a lot I want to make now that I feel like I have somewhat of a base to start creating more again. Look out for the Vessel one. Hopefully I can put it out by New Year's, but no promises. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe, do all those things, and share the video with those that may find this interesting and find it enjoyable. But yeah, alright. It's now 1:21, and I'm going to bed. So, good night.